Dude, what are you doing?
I'm making a chicken dance.
Making a chicken dance? All right, well, how about we show everybody how to use a butcher's knife?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Dad?
Yes?
I'm excited for today.
You're excited for today?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Well, I'm excited too because we're going to learn how to actually use our boning knife, right?
Yeah, we're not going to go like, we don't use it like
No, we don't stab down. Nope. But here's how we use this, right? If you have a whole chicken at home, it's going to look like this. Right now he's raw, right? And in order to cook him, in this case, we're going to actually take him apart. So it's called breaking down a chicken. We bought the chicken whole at the store, relatively inexpensive. It's a young chicken, so it's a bit smaller. And then when we got it home, we put it in the sink, cut the bag off of it, released all of the liquid that was in the bag with it. And inside of the cavity here, right here, where its organs would have been, they replace it with the heart and the liver. We just removed those. We're not going to use those today. You can, and we would love to show you how to make pate and do all sorts of things with all the different offal, O-F-F-A-L, the offal meat. But right now, we're going to show everybody how to break down a chicken. We're going to make this one quick and clean. It should be good. So, first things first, when we have the chicken, we're going to dry it off so that way it's not leaking all over our cutting board, which we've done. But we want to make sure that we're staying safe. Lots of problems with what's called cross-contamination. So raw chicken can be dangerous to consume. It has different things. In this situation, it would be salmonella. That is a very dangerous thing that can happen if you eat raw chicken. It makes you very sick, stomach ache, and all sorts of other symptoms. No fun. So we want to be safe. So we're going to use a nylon cutting board in this case, or a silicone cutting board, and we're going to wash our hands. Xander, can you remind everybody how to wash their hands properly?
Yes, get the water, turn it on, get the soap, and then get it a little wet, scrub, and start singing your ABCs. And when you're done singing the ABCs, wash it off and dry.
Exactly, yep. So you want to wash your hands in as hot a water as you can stand for about 26 seconds, which is about how long it takes to do the ABCs, right?
Yeah.
Now, every time we touch raw chicken, we're also going to want to wash our hands. So right now, my hands are contaminated. I've touched this raw chicken, so I'm going to have to wash my hands too. And after that, we're going to have a different view of the chicken, so that way you can have a bird's eye view or a chef's eye view of our hands on our knives, safely, mind you, and how we're going to break down the chicken into what's called its primal cuts, or its main parts. So we're going to get off of the chicken, we're going to get 2 breasts, we're going to get 2 leg quarters, and those leg quarters include the drumstick and the thigh. Now we can also take that quarter down in half, so we just have a drumstick on its own. We'll have a thigh on its own, and the 2 breasts. We'll also have some wings that we can fry up later for dinner as well.
Yeah.
So, and then once we have all those parts, oh yeah, I love wings too. Once we have all of those parts, then we're gonna bag them up and we're gonna be able to freeze them, or we may cook them as well. I would love to do some fried chicken thighs and some grilled drumsticks. We'll saute or sear the breast, and yes, we're gonna fry some wings too. But those are for later videos. And if you wanna see all of those, because we've got a lot more coming, you have to like and subscribe and press the bell notification, so that way every time that Xander and I get into that kitchen and do something fun, you get to come along with us.
And it's right here.
It's right there. So, ready to do this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so our hands are washed, right?
Yep.
And now you can see the top of the chicken, so you see exactly what I'm seeing right now. So, for this, we've got our boning knife, got the cutting board, the chicken that's been dried off, and all the offal meat's been removed. I also have off camera here, I've got a Pyrex dish. You can do a plate or whatnot for all of the things to land on, all of the pieces to land on. We call that an LZ, or a landing zone. So we have our landing zone that's safe, and we're gonna get going here. So once you've got your chicken on your board, first place that you're gonna start is by taking your wings here.
Yep.
We're gonna get rid of those. Okay,
The wings.
so right here, you can see there is a joint. Right, that's basically its elbow. So you're gonna take your knife, you're gonna cut through that skin there, and you get that skin down right here. You can see the white bone there. That's actually cartilage. So this joint, if you stay quiet, you're gonna hear something. Ready? Do you hear the little pop?
Yeah.
When you pop that, that's going to open up a space for you to run your knife right through. So just like that, you've got a wing. Tip and flat. Flats are my favorite. Okay, we're going to save that. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to take that wing up. We're going to cut through that extra skin. We're going to bend that back to open up. Now, you'll notice I'm breaking my rule. I have my finger on the top of my knife here, on top of the spine. That's not a good place to be when you're chopping, right? But when you're moving through bones inside of a piece of animal protein, that's the one and only time that I'll allow to have a finger on the top of the knife, because there's no place for me to put that over here on a bony knife. Plus it's really slippery. I'm trying to stay behind this heel here. Okay, so now we've got our drumsticks here. I'm going to remove those here in just a little bit. They're going to be for stabilization. So the next step that we need to do is we're going to move our chicken here, and we've got our hips here. Right here is where our hips are, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we've got a lot of extra skin holding everything together. So we need to remove a little bit of that to get down to where we need to go. So we're going to cut there and do the same thing. Kind of mirror image here. So you've cut that skin, okay? And now you can get all the way down to the hip bone. Same here. I'm going to take some of that skin and go down. So this is the very end of the breast here, the very tip that typically overcooks. Oh. Now there's some interconnective tissue here that we're just going to also pop through, and we're going to remove. Okay, that loosens everything up so that way we can start to get at our leg quarters. Okay?
Is that muscle?
So the actual meat that we eat is the muscle. This is all connective tissue. So
like that.
So now we're going to flip the chicken over. Now that we've removed this portion and this portion here of that connective tissue. And now we're going to do another thing. You ready?
Yep.
Listening? Okay, little pop there. So we've removed that. Now that these hips are dislocated, I know, pretty graphic, but this is what it is. You'll see a little divot here. This is called the oyster. This is a piece of meat that is the most tender on the chicken. It's a little chef secret. So you're going to take your knife and you're going to grab this here, and you're going to follow that around here, around the oyster. And basically what you're doing too is you're kind of rocking your knife and letting the knife run up against the bones and letting the bones tell you where you are and following that contour. Now you're going to go down through, so the oyster's removed. It's not actually an oyster, it's just a piece of meat. And you're going to come right down to the hip bone. That's where your knife is going to stop. So you're going to pick him up just a little bit and let his weight kind of help you. You're going to work your way through that bone. You're going to feel it go right through that cartilage piece there, separating the two bones. And then the rest of that is easy to do. You're going to just follow down the line of his tail. So now you have a leg quarter.
But it has some floppy pieces.
It does have some floppy pieces. So we're going to take and we're just going to trim that up. That we can use for later. We'll keep it for other things. Okay, so now you've got your leg quarter. We're going to come back to that because I'm going to show you how to take care of that next. But we're going to take this other leg quarter here. We're going to do the same thing. We've already dislocated this, so that way it's loose. We're going to remove the skin. We're going to follow that little oyster in there. Okay, this one's tiny. And then again, we're going to pick this up gently. Right there, you can see how that just removed the ball joint here. That's his hip. So we're going to follow through there.
It's a meat.
And then we're just going to rock our knife through while we're sawing, just gently, making sure that our fingers are out of the way. Doing this a lot by feel as well. Now, we've got that extra flabby piece there. That's all extra skin. Some chickens have it, depending upon how they're grown and raised. Some chickens don't. Some are lean, some are big and fatty. The more processed the chicken is, the faster they want to make them fat for us, and the more of that's going to be on the chickens. If you buy a chicken from the store, usually it is factory farmed, and they're trying to push them out as quickly as possible. So that's going to have all sorts of extra fat and stuff that we don't necessarily need or want. If you can buy organic or locally farm-raised chicken, it's going to always be better. But this is what we have, and I know that not everybody can afford something like that, so we're showing them how to do this with a chicken that is affordable as well. So next, we're going to take down the breasts. So right down the center, if you can see the line here, that's called the keel bone. So that is basically like what our breastbone does in our body. And then you'll also find the wishbone up here, which if I can, I'll show you as well. But the wishbone, you find them definitely in turkeys. All birds have them. That is the breastbone as well. So we're going to use those bones, the keel bone and the breastbone, to guide us in what we're about to do. So this line here is where we're going to start. This is the reason why our knife has a really sharp tip and it's tiny. So we're going to take our hands, again, making sure our fingers are out of the way, making sure that our hand is firmly on this knife, because now it is covered in chicken and it is becoming slippery. So this is where it can kind of get really dangerous. So we want to focus. Okay, so you're going to find that keel bone. You're going to run your knife directly in along, in my case, I'm starting on the left side, and you're just going to run your knife, sawing gently through alongside that keel bone. Once I've found that keel bone, I'm running it all the way down, and your knife is going to find a place that's going to stop. There is more cartilage and more bone that's going to stop your knife. That is exactly where you want to be. So we're going to go up to here, and then you can see right there, you can see where that cartilage piece is. That's where my knife stops. You don't want to saw through that because cartilage is not edible in the ways that you want it to be. So taking your tip of your knife, you're going to take your thumb, you're going to pull back gently. You can kind of see it starting to stretch. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the tip of your knife and you're going to run it up along that cartilage, slowly peeling back the chicken breast. Now there you can see a bone here. That's where its rib cage would be. And again, we're following along all of those pieces. There is a shoulder blade. Okay. So as you're going, you're slowly peeling this piece back as well. And right in here, you can't see it, but you can feel it with your knife. That's where the wishbone is. That's our guideline to say, okay, that's where we're going to stop. So we're running all the way down. Now, this is the drumstick still there that was there for support. You're going to take that with your hand. You're going to kind of squeeze it together. And right in here where my tip of my knife is, that's where the shoulder blade is going to be. That's going to be where we're going to run our knife directly through it, where the cartilage is, and it's going to go right through. So, you hear it? See it? Right there. We're going to remove that. We're going to run our knife down, run it across the board, and there it is. That's a chicken breast, and in this case, it's a French term called an airline chicken breast. That is the chicken breast whole with the drumstick still attached. It's a really fancy, old school French technique. They did actually used to serve them on airlines, and that's where it got its name. Really, really simple like that. So I'm going to remove this real quick out of camera view. Now, we've got our chicken breast skin. So this is the tip of the chicken breast where we had actually removed the leg from. We're going to just tidy up the skin just a bit. You can leave that if you want, no big deal. Now, I have no use for this as an airline in this situation. We're going to remove this because I would rather eat these with this particular piece, this drumstick, as fried chicken wings with Frank's Red Hot, right? Yeah. Again, we're looking for Frank's to support us. So let's see if we can do that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take this off. So on the back here, you can still see that is the shoulder, the socket right there. And while we're back here, this piece here, this flap, is actually your favorite piece of the chicken.
Me?
Yep, it's a chicken tender. This is what's called the tenderloin. So when you eat chicken strips, that's what this is. And if you stick with us, in other videos, we're going to show you how to bread and fry those things because everyone likes a chicken tender. So we're going to remove that real quick here. It's attached with silver skin here, so we're just going to run our knife right up through it. Boom. There's our chicken tender. Okay? There's our chicken breast. This is the airline. This is the drumstick. So we're going to just take knife right up along that, and we're just going to run our knife right down it. So there's our chicken tender. There's our chicken drumstick. And here is our chicken breast. Skin on, no bone. Now, if you want to go boneless, skinless, it's as simple as just literally taking and peeling the skin off. Now, you can use that chicken skin for all sorts of fun things. It also is great when it's crisped up with a lot of salt on it. You eat it like a chicken chip. We can do that later too. Okay? So everything's going to go over into our bin. And we're going to do it one more time. Chickens have two of everything, right? Just like us. So again, now this is the hard part. It's a little flabby. It's a little bit less secure. Our bone's still there to help. So this is the last piece we're going to take here. So again, keel bone is right here. We're going to kind of go right up alongside it. Yep, so you can hear that bone or that cartilage that my knife's running up alongside. That means I'm doing it proper.
I think I see the tender.
Okay, yep, and again, we're going to move our knife back away from our hands. We're going to move our thumb back. We're going to keep peeling this piece back. right up along that rib cage. There's the shoulder that we're looking for. Again, we've got that all in one hand under control, and then we're gonna run right through it. Remove it. Now, this here is the carcass. This is leftover, not a whole lot left on it, which is good. That means we did a good job. There is always gonna be a little bit more meat in here. You can get in there a little bit more with your flexible knife if you have it. If not, you can kind of dig your tip in around. But this is not gonna go to waste. In our next video, we're gonna show you how to actually take this and make chicken stock or bone broth out of it, which I know a lot of people are super into these days. And it's one that we're most excited about because it's the base to every good sauce that you'll ever have. So we're gonna save that for later. Again, now we've got a chicken, bone in, skin on. Flip it over, take that tender.
My favorite chicken tender.
Remove the tender. You can leave it as an airline if you want. We don't, so there's that bone right there. Again, pull back, run our knife right through it. There is our drumstick. There's our skin on chicken breast. And I like to leave the skin on because that's what gets crispy when you saute it properly. So we're gonna show you how to do that in another video as well. Again, like, subscribe, follow along, and we'll be there for you. So what you've gained from this now is you have 2 chicken breasts, 1 skin on, 1 skin off. You'll have 2 chicken tenders. You'll have 2 chicken tenders. You'll have 2 drumsticks. You'll have 2 wings. In this case, wings with the tip on. We're gonna take the tip off, just like so. One more, same deal, right? Go right through that. Sometimes you miss, and that's fine. Sometimes we miss. You can see, a chef of 20 years, miss once, twice, 3 times. That's why these stay sharp. So right through, there we go. Now we've got 2 flats, and we've got our 2, the cutting board is too small. We have 2 leg quarters, just like so. So there's all the pieces of the chicken, just like that. Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. Now, one last thing too, if you're interested, I'm gonna take these, save those for later, save all those for later, save all these for later. So if you want just your drumstick and you just want your thigh, there is one final cut to make. So if you can see here, when I stretch this skin down, I'm holding the knuckle where its foot would be, and I'm pulling down here. There is a distinct color difference. There's a dark meat here. This is all dark meat, but the skin changes different color here. There's a line right there. That is God's dotted line to tell you where to cut. So once that's stretched back, you're gonna cut right down through it, and boom, you're gonna go right through the knee. So you've cut through the cartilage. There you go. You have a bone in, skin on thigh, and a drumstick. I'm gonna do it one more time. Ready? Stretch it, find that dotted line. It's up there, right? That happens. There it is.
Nice.
Yep, I know. Not everybody's cup of tea, but if you're into this kind of thing, this is super important to know. So now we've shown you how to use a boning knife. So last thing you got to do is clean up really, really well. You want to take a cutting board, wash it, hot soap and water, make sure that's clean. Knife clean as well. Make sure you wash your hands because they are covered in all sorts of gunk. And we want to stay safe.
Yes.
So in the meantime, thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for those that have liked and subscribed. Thank you to those that have commented on videos and engaged with us. That is why we do this. We want to hear more from y'all. Yes, I said y'all. We want to hear more from y'all as we move along. Xander, you want to hear from everybody too?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yep. We're learning along the way, and we can't wait to show you more. In the meantime, all the best. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.